I'm honored to be here this morning with all of you. I've been asked to come here and share a little bit of my story and who I am and where I come from, and I'm going to do that. But first, I have to say thank you to Maribel for allowing me this opportunity to speak to you all on this, and to all of our wonderful students. And I want to say thank you for all that you have done over the time. I don't know, oh, you're over here. I want to say thank you for all that you have done. Your commitment to your students, to the community, are inspiring to me. And all of the SP board members and donors as well. Without you at the helm, we couldn't do this. To all the teachers, all of you over here and all over the room, thank you as well. Words cannot explain how much you are appreciated. During some of the most challenging times in our lives, you stayed committed to the vision and mission of Saturday Place. I wish more people in our community, and when I say our community, I mean America as a whole, understood and respected your value. You are the fabric of our lives. You hold us, you teach us, care for us, show us to care for ourselves, and help bring out what God has put inside of all of us. Put simply, you show us what true love really is. For you, I'm grateful. To the parents, I'm going to try to speak Spanish a little bit in here. Forgive me if I mess that up. But anyway, thank you for your commitment to your children's lives and education. Without you, we would have no students. We understand the dedication and effort put forth by all of you. Please stand. Padres, por favor, levantanse. Please stand. Students, please look at your parents and give them a round of applause. Being a parent is not easy. It is one of the most difficult journeys I have ever embarked on. Your parents have a tremendous responsibility in raising all of you. Them getting you to the bus stop each Saturday shows that your parents take their responsibility to you seriously. They are the best of us. You may be seated. Puedes estar sentada. To the students, thank you. You didn't have to be here, all of you. You could have chosen to stay home on Saturdays and play video games or football or soccer or basketball or any other activity known to humankind, but you didn't. You blessed us with your presence at Saturday Place. This, to me, shows that you are committed to yourselves, and commitment to oneself is paramount to a successful life. So students, will you please stand? Students, all of you. Parents and everyone else, can we give them a round of applause? I started out by saying that I would share some of myself, so here it goes. You know my name and some of my accomplishments, like me being a former Chicago Bears football player, as well as you may know that I played in the Super Bowl as well. The Bears' last Super Bowl in 2007, I believe it was, is what it was. It's been a long time, and I've been hit in the head a few times. But what you may not know is that I was a late bloomer. I was a short kid throughout most of my adolescence. I stood somewhere between 5 feet and 5'5" most of high school. That led to me being fearful of many things. One of those things being football. I was a little bit afraid to play. So I didn't start playing tackle football until I was a junior in college, until I was in a junior college at 18 years old. I walked on at a West Los Angeles Junior College in LA. I'm from California. From the time that I started to the beginning of my professional career was only 5 years. That's kind of wild, huh? I've been truly blessed. God has been good to me. So how did I get here? I'm going to share with you 3 things that I believe helped me get here today as the co-founder of Saturday Place. Number 1 was goals. Goal setting is an important aspect of a successful life. I believe in setting lofty goals, very, very high goals. Goals that may seem unattainable to some, and in me may cause a little bit of fear. Football taught me this. Each year, every football team in the nation starts off with the same goal: winning a championship. A head coach sets his team up for success by setting many realistic milestones that help his team achieve its goal of winning a championship. The head coach sets the tone for the team by giving each assistant coach and each player realistic, targeted goals to accomplish. And the coach regularly checks in with them to make sure that they're all staying on target. Those targeted goals serve as a roadmap for the team's success. The best teams have head coaches or have a head coach that do this very well. When I look back at my life, I realize that this practice of goal setting in football has leaked into my life outside of the football field. I may not always reach my goal, but that doesn't mean that when I don't, I am not successful. Determining success can be a tricky thing. Sometimes the beauty is in just trying. You have to remember that, right? The second thing that I will say is respect. This one is very simple for me. I believe and I live by the golden rule. Any of you know what the golden rule is? You know what it is?
Yeah. Treat others the way you want to be treated.
Exactly. As the Bible says, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. In this day and time, it is my hope that people realize that words and behaviors towards others and that bullying is not okay. Words matter. As I once heard, we are all fighting a battle that no one else can see. So be kind. You never know how much your kindness may affect the friend or stranger you grace with your smile. I'll share a quick story about how this has affected me. When I was your age, 3rd grade, I had a teacher. Her name was Miss Dyer. When I was your age, my father was killed when I was 8 years old. I grew up in a pretty rough environment. So when that happened, I didn't know how to handle it. I didn't fully understand what was happening. So occasionally I would act out in class. Instead of this teacher sending me to the office every time that I spoke too loudly or laughed too loudly or got a little bit emotional and started crying, she cared for me. She loved me. And because of that, love that she showed me and that kindness that she showed me, we kind of sit here today. Because that was part of the reason and one of the stories that I went back to in development of Saturday Place. And so I'm eternally grateful to her for that. Lastly, the third thing that I want to share with you is the belief in yourself. I alluded to it earlier that I dealt with fears when I was your age. One of the biggest fears that I had to overcome was the fear of failure, coupled with the fear of embarrassment. This fear was a big reason I didn't play football in high school. I feared not being good enough and looking bad when I made a mistake. How did I overcome this fear? I overcame this fear on the football field by kind of Jedi mind tricking myself. I told myself that my helmet almost made me invisible, right? They only see me when the ball is in my hand. And when the ball is in my hand, I'm as good as anybody. So any mistake that I made before that didn't matter. This little trick helped me face my fear of going out on the football field and getting through it every day. When I look back at my life now, I realize that the fears that I had were real, not an illusion. But they were creating a cage that kept me locked in. The cage was the illusion. You see, failure is not final. Embarrassment won't hurt you unless you allow it to. As with all things in life, it will pass. In my opinion, we only lose when we fail to learn the lessons contained in the losses. Therefore, as I teach my own kids, and both of them are here today, I believe that you should add an E and an N to the word loss. Reorient your mind a little bit and move the letters around a little bit, and you'll learn the lessons contained. I'll leave you with a quote that I love about education. It was said by Nelson Mandela. Education is the number one tool one can use to change the world. I truly believe that. It wasn't until I realized the importance of my education and I began to believe in myself that I began to become the man that you see here today. Education can take you anywhere. Education can take you everywhere. So it is up to you and your lives and your responsibilities at the end of the day. I believe when I stand before God and he asks me, or she asks me, whoever you think God is, and God asks me, what have you done with the gifts and talents that I've given you? And I share my story. I'm the only one that's going to be there. All the things that happened in my life, all the things that I had to overcome will either be a weight or there'll be something that lifts me up. I chose to make them lift me up. I chose to learn and grow. So I hope that you all do the same in understanding that your life is a beautiful thing. Appreciate every moment of it, but never stop learning. Thank you.